as I can.
There we go. We are started. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you taking the time. We're just going to wait a minute or two for a few more people to jump on before we get started into the presentation. Alrighty, it looks like we have a few more people jumping on, and we appreciate your patience. Um, Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you here, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Before we get started, just a quick note that we will be doing a Q&A section, so feel free to drop any questions down in that Q&A portion, and we'll make sure to answer those at the end of the webinar. Now, just a little bit about Bespoke Air Group. They specialize in private jet charters and that save time, they provide luxury, and it really gives you full control for your clients while always keeping safety at the top of their priority list. Bespoke Air Group has over 25 years of experience with unmatched global coverage, and their mission has always been to deliver an exceptional experience for both passengers and for our travel partners. With that, I hand it over to the CEO of Bespoke Air Group, Howard.
Hi, all. I figured I would actually be seeing people, but I guess not. It's just hearing them. How many people, Mackenzie, how many people are attending?
Right now, we have about 10 on, it looks like currently. So we'll wait for some people to continue to join on, but why don't we go ahead and get started?
Sure. First off, thank you all for attending and taking the time out. I know I can never find time, so I'm sure similar to you, it's very difficult to find time. So I'll try and hit a couple of topics and then really just open it up to you because I prefer to talk less and listen more. Um, we, you know, when I get on a webinar or I speak with someone, um, I like to explain exactly what separates us from the pack. Most people I speak to have previously worked with five, six, seven, eight different companies in my space. And why? Because they never found one that they could rely on exclusively. Because if they did, that would save them a lot of time, energy, effort, and they know they're getting the best options. And when I say the best options, it's the best suited jet, it's the strongest possible pricing. Um, I always give my advisors two options, depending on what the clients really, what their preferences are, economical, room, whatever it may be. I like to come back to you with the two strongest possible options. But again, what's different about us versus the pack? We're we were built on and will always be a relationship driven company. Um, Most companies in this space, maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, have turned to a factory flight. I call it a factory flight model. Because a lot of these companies have been bought out by larger companies or publicly traded companies, and their focus is number of trips, how much revenue. That's it. And when advisors reach out to me a lot lately, they say my clients felt like they might as well have flown commercial, that they were like just a transaction. And I tell them, I say, their focus is just on flights, flights, flights. It's not customer service. It's not building the relationship. And again, us being relationship driven means very personalized attention. It may be a cliche calling it boutique. I never aspired to be the biggest. I don't want to be the biggest. I'm not going to be the biggest. I want to keep it small to medium sized company so that there's always personal attention far beyond what anyone else can provide, and that I'm always available to intervene whenever necessary. And typically, the CEO of a company is not. So I have pretty much 24/7 accessibility when needed. Um, what else makes us different? Besides and on the relationship driven model, when I say relationship driven, I know my spot in this business, and my spot is to further solidify your relationship with your own client while becoming someone you can rely on exclusively, because I'm simply an extension of you. You're trusting me with your client. At the end of that experience, I want your client to trust you even more. And with that, you'll obviously trust me more. So those are the relationships I'm talking about. Mackenzie actually touched on it. Everyone we work with domestically and internationally, I have two pilots and I have two jets. Or if it's a turboprop trip, I have two turboprops. Obviously, if there's any sort of issue on the ground, I had one the other day. It was silly. The air conditioning didn't get to the number that it was supposed to get to. We had another jet there in 15 minutes, I think 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and all was fine. So that's a big difference. Two pilots always, whereas a lot of these companies won't even share with you that there's only one pilot. Two pilots, two aircraft. Um, Domestically, we only work with Wyvern certified, Argus rated companies. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's just a third-party auditing companies, and it's basically the safety standards in the industry. Meaning, if you say you're Wyvern certified, Argus rated, you adhere to a very high set of safety protocols. And within Argus, there's a couple of different levels. I think gold, bronze, platinum. But in my experience, as long as they're Argus rated, they're very, very trustworthy and safe. And that's the number one priority. And things that I will share with my advisors typically aren't brought up in conversation. The year it's built, the year it was refurbished, um, things like that. I there's certain jets that may be less expensive, but they were built in 1985. I never will put a passenger or one of your clients on a jet that I wouldn't put my own family on. Um, so yeah, that's I think that really hits on some of the major. There's a lot more differences. I like to give complimentary catering. I like to give upgrades, which happens fairly often without any additional expense. Going into a higher jet class, if not two higher jet classes, without any additional expense. I'm able to pull that off from time to time. Um, I would say um, another big difference, and then I'll move on to topics, is that I have a partner who's a billionaire. I'm not. And his finances have enabled us to do things that other companies can't. And the biggest one is we have partners throughout the world. Obviously, if a flight's originating in France and going to Greece, I have to use one of my partners in France. If I book a jet today for you, and it's a $25,000 trip, it's a very small trip. If they were working with any other company, they would then invoice that company. and they would probably get paid a few days before the flight. So if the flight is in early 26, they're going to get paid in early 26. I have funds on account with these partners, they get paid the same day. Why? Because they simply draw down on the funds that I have on account with them. Needless to say, this keeps my partners very, very motivated and happy to always provide me certain courtesies that they wouldn't provide someone else. Holding an aircraft, having a first right of refusal. If there are two parties interested in it and they're going to sign contracts, I will get an email or a call or a text immediately saying, I have two other parties ready to go. You have first right of refusal. Plus, obviously, the jet as well as the cost. These partners want to do as much business with me, and likewise because they're getting paid immediately. That's another point I wanted to bring up. A couple of other things that have happened recently. This My partner has also invested in a fleet that we now have obviously inside access to, a partial ownership through his investment. So depending on where the flight's originating, if we use our any of the jets in our own fleet, obviously we have a major step up in terms of pricing. That's with our fleet. I've been talking about a couple of, I'm always looking for ways to have my advisors earn more. The more they earn, the happier they are, the more business we do together. And there are two new avenues that provide significant commissions. Um, Five figures, high five figures, and that is we're getting much more involved in the sale and purchase of private jets, acquisitions, so on and so forth. We became part of a network throughout the world that gives us, in plain English, first peek before it goes out on the public market. So, if in conversation, and it's for both of these, and in conversation, if you say to the client, hey, if your client, listen, if you're ever considering purchasing your own, be sure to reach out to me because um, you know, I have a relationship that will take extremely good care of you, or however you would want to put it. But it's been my experience, the more you offer it and talk about it, the more interest it generates, which eventually leads to sales. We closed the other day on a 30 or $35 million sale. It was a not a global, I believe a G550 for $30 million. The commissions were significant. The advisor's commission, when the funds are all dispersed, will be somewhere around $30 or $40,000. That's on the acquisitions. And the other avenue that has opened up is super yacht, mega yacht, and I know there's one other term they use, charters. We've partnered officially with one of the most prestigious world yacht groups. They cover the world. I could certainly send and follow up with a couple of pictures of the yachts, which some of which are not to be believed, that run as high as a million and a half, $2 million a week. And how are these people flying around? I would say they're not getting on a JetBlue flight, but they are flying private as well. So again, if if you offer it, then it generates interest. If they don't know that you have accessibility to that or that that's part of your services, obviously you'll never be able to generate interest or have one of these yacht charters signed. So these are two avenues, the private jet sales acquisitions and mega yacht. mega yacht charters that again are in the five-figure commissions. And I've had a couple of advisors that said, "You're 100% right." I bring it up in conversation, and all of a sudden they get, that's interesting, or I'll keep that in mind. And one said, "You know what? I'd actually like to purchase one," and that was the one that closed. So, um, my mom, may she rest in peace, didn't teach me much, but she did say, if you don't ask, you don't know. So, those were the two things I wanted to touch on. Uh, we are having more companies in different industries looking to partner with us that will again only open up additional avenues for my advisors to earn. Um, and one other item, there are trips, part of the relationship driven, and I'm going to end with this and then open it up. Um, Part of the relationship driven is, as CEO, I'm a big boy. I've been in business, in the business world, 30 years, 35 years. And in this business, especially, there are losses. I have to take losses if I want to maintain the relationship with the client. There's plenty of people that would say, "You know what, I'm not taking a loss." And that's the end of the relationship. I'll find someone else. That has never been me, that never will be me. If for some reason, whether it be a de-icing bill that's just outrageous, catering goes over the top, there's a fuel stop that we didn't anticipate that now has an additional fee. I don't look at the profit and loss of each trip. I look at the relationship over the long haul. So when it requires it, it's certainly not my business model, but I will happily, so to speak, bite the bullet to ensure that our relationship um, stays in good standing. I'm accessible to my advisors pretty much 24/7. I have a full support staff. Clients get their own private liaison throughout the trip. And again, if something comes up where I'm needed, I'm there. And for my advisors, whatever they need, whatever the preferences are. I always say, again, if you don't know, you don't ask. Whatever the craziest request may be, in order for us to book the trip, tell me. I'm very creative, and typically I'll accommodate if it helps us book the trip together. And with that being said, I think I touched upon the few things I wanted to touch upon. Now, I'd like to hear if there's any questions from any of you.
Hi, Howie. Thank you so much. That was very thorough and very informative. We appreciate you taking the time. As Howie said, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to put them in that Q&A section. And if you don't have a question right now, but you do have a question later, feel free to reach out to either myself, anyone from the Lush team, or to Howard directly. We'll also be following up, and so you'll get a copy of this presentation to look back on as well. And then we'll be making sure that Howie will be touching base with you. So it looks like we don't have any questions currently, but again, as I said, if you do have any, feel free to reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help out and get you connected.
If I may, I'll mention, am I
Yep,
muted or can you hear me?
we can hear you.
I'll just mention one more thing. One of the biggest differences also is that I've had the luxury of flying private many times in my life. That's how this business started because I ran into every obstacle humanly imaginable that a private flyer runs into. And instead of complaining, I decided to fix what's fixable. Obviously, I haven't figured out a way to fix the weather or what the airports may say, but as a private flyer, I know firsthand what these people expect and deserve. and I look to deliver it every single time. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, and thank you everyone for joining and taking the time out of your day to learn a bit more about Bespoke Air Group. Wishing you all
Appreciate it.
the rest of your Thursday. Thank you all so
Appreciate it
much.
all. Thank you.